Violence in America is at an all-time high. It's not as uncommon nowadays to turn the TV on and hear about a school shooting. It's also not uncommon to hear about violence against individuals, such as shootings, robbery, murder. Even right now, violence in prison is at an all-time high. Now, with these school shootings and stabbings being on the rise, I believe that nonviolence training would be very beneficial in the educational system. Every year, at least 3 million young people in the United States are victims of crimes at school. At least 2 million of these are because of violent outbursts. Many school shootings are the result of bullying or lack of communication. Nonviolence training in schools would teach children how to communicate better and control their anger without having to use violent outbursts or lashing out. Leo Wells says that our goal should be to get nonviolence training institutionalized in the schools. We need to make it a permanent part of the curriculum standard, just like English and math. Now, there are programs that are available outside of a school district, but that's only for ages 6 through 13. You have to pay for it, and some people wouldn't be able to afford that. So therefore, it's not available to their children because of that. In Germany, they have nonviolent training in schools. They teach respect towards others and how to have a better communication system. They also teach them how to reduce conflict without it escalating any further. The number of people in the United States that are incarcerated has gone up drastically in the last 30 years. In 1980, there was approximately 330,000 people who were incarcerated. By 2010, that number had jumped up to 1.6 million. Nearly 2/3 of these people who are released are more than likely to be rearrested and put back in prison in 3 years. Now, there's a program that they have started using in some of the prisons in the United States. It's called Freedom Project. Freedom Project trains prisoners in nonviolent communication. There have been many studies. Now, there's a correlation study that shows a decreased rearrest rate among those who have been released and have had the nonviolent training. Another study compared trained prisoners with a control group. They found improvement in self-reported anger, self-compassion, and mindfulness. Nonviolence training is used in 5 prisons so far in the United States. It's used in 5 prisons in Washington, 3 in Monroe, and 1 in Tacoma. All prisons using the nonviolent training have seen results, including a lower rate in violence. Now, in prison, the highest amount of violence is sexual violence. There's a lot of rape in prison, and there's not really a lot that can be done about that right now. But I believe that with the nonviolence training, possibly people would be able to communicate better. Possibly people wouldn't get as hurt. It may help some people. Now, violence on individuals takes 1.6 million lives a year. 50% of that is to suicide, which is from bullying. We've been hearing a lot about bullying lately. Now, the other 50% of that is interpersonal violence and collective violence. The Nonviolent Institute, which is another institution that has come up and started teaching about nonviolence, it exposes at least 1,500 people a year to nonviolence training. People who have had nonviolence training have a better, they communicate better, they have an increased understanding, they have a deeper connection, and they know how to use conflict resolution without resulting in violence. Nonviolence training is only available in about half of the United States. In a focus group that they did, they found that those who have had nonviolence training, 72.7% of those use it in their daily lives. Looking at the research that is available, if nonviolence training was mandatory in schools and prisons and available to the individuals who would be open to taking it, I believe that the violence rate and the incarceration rate would go down in the United States. Research proves that it does work. There are many studies that you can find that show the percentage and the drops between individuals who've had nonviolent training and those who haven't had nonviolent training. It'd be very beneficial for the United States as a whole to have these options available. Thank you.